Welcome to another video, guys. I'm Crystal5 and today I'll show you 5 of the cheapest Hearthstone decks for rank 5 and beyond. All of these decks will bring you at least to rank 5 if you know how to play with them. As always, I will give you an overview of each deck, their matchups, and a mulligan guide too. So drop a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I will also give you ideas on how you can improve these decks so you can bring them even higher on ladder. Now, as you probably have heard, Blizzard announced that they will jam 20 free wildcards back into Standard. Keep in mind that we still don't know when that will happen, so I think we have at least 2 more weeks before they hit. We will know for sure what the cards will be and when they drop on October the 4th. Those would surely open up a lot of possibilities for new top meta decks, and a lot of cheap meta decks too, since those cards will be available to everybody. But I'm confident that the decks I'm about to show you will remain strong even after that, so let's get into it. The first deck on the list is the cheapest one, sitting at less than 1k dust, Tempo Rogue. In every expansion, Tempo Rogue does find a way back into the meta, and this one doesn't make an exception. Even though you don't see Tempo Rogue too often in the high legend ranks, pro Rogue players can still bring it to high legend finishes. So it really comes down to how well you can pilot the deck and how well you know what your opponent can do. Games are pretty fast with it, and your goal is to finish the game as fast as you can, so you will be able to fit in a lot of games each season with it. This version doesn't run a single rare card in it, not even SI agents, so there will be a lot of room for improvement for you. Here are the matchups for a similar rogue deck, since there isn't enough data for the budget version. It should still give you a good idea of what you can expect. Obviously, warriors will be bad for you. Quest Druid has way too much value for you as well, even though you might be able to burst him down before he reaches value down. Anything else is pretty good for you, and you will even be able to make those pesky combo priests cry most of the time as well. For the mulligan, you always want to keep your cats, miscreants, and hench clan thugs. If you're on the coin, however, keeping cards like Scimitar and Eviscerate can prove to be very beneficial as well. Depending on the matchup, figure out if Backstab and Sap would be good for your early game. Here's the optimal build for this deck. It will cost you 7k dust at the end, but to be fair, all of the legendaries you will need to craft here will be good investments for you if you enjoy the rogue class. Leroy is a must craft for any new player, and Greenskin is seeing a lot of play as well. Van Cleef and Myras are staples for the rogue class, so you shouldn't regret crafting those if you enjoy playing rogue. In the current meta, rogue is sitting at the lower part of tier 2, but for rank 5 that would be more than enough for you. Next up, we have the good old mid-range hunter. This is another deck archetype that is the pure definition of cheap and effective. This version costs a little over 1k dust, but it can take you to rank 5 in no time. Mid-range hunter will always be a good choice for cheap climbing, so if you enjoy the hunter class, crafting this deck is pretty safe for you. Games are pretty fast, and you will need to involve a lot of strategy into some of those. For the matchups, again I'm showing you the win rates of the full version, since there's not enough data for the budget one. Quest Druid won't be fun for you, Murloc Pally can high roll as well, and Highlander Hunter is your worst matchup by far. I can imagine the budget version struggling against Control Warrior as well, but as you can see, the final version does pretty well against it. For the mulligan, Hyena, Springpaw, Shimmerfly, and Animal Companion are always great to have. If you already have a good curve going, keeping Houndmaster and Desert Spear is also pretty nice. Depending on the matchup, you might want to keep Hogsteed and Kill Command, so you can deal with early game threats. The full version of the deck includes Zul'jin, Master's Call, Unleash the Beast, and Dire Frenzy. All of those are great cards to have for Hunter, and you can even climb to High Legend with it for 3k dust, if you really know what you're doing, so I'd say craft away. Next we have Token Druid. Again, this is one of the most effective ways to climb ranks fast, and it's pretty awkward to play against, especially for less experienced players. What you're seeing right now is the absolute cheapest version of this deck, but I do advise you to throw in 2 Forest Saids as soon as you can to boost its performance. Token Druid is rarely seen in higher level of play nowadays, but it would be more than enough for you to reach rank 5 with it, and the optimal version of it isn't that expensive either. Not enough games with it to show you an adequate match table, but here are the matchups for the Token Druid archetype as a whole. Your biggest threat would be Combo Priest, the popular warrior decks, both Zulocks, and Quest Shaman. This is the main reason you don't see too many Token Druids in high level of play, since most of the popular decks are countering it right now. But you will be good against decks like Quest Druid, Highlander Hunter, and all of the Paladins, so there's that. The mulligan isn't hard. You just want your Acorn Bearers, Dreamway Guardians, and Macaroos. If you already have some of those, keeping some buffs or free drops isn't too bad either, and keeping bees for early game aggression and threats is not bad too. Frankly, the optimal version of this deck isn't really that much more expensive, since the only legendary you will need is Snip Snap, and most of us got that for free not too long ago. For the newer players that didn't get it, I'd say it's a safe craft as well, but keep in mind that it rotates out to wild in about 7 months, so there's that. Sitting at number 4 is Murloc Shaman. This one costs a little over 2k, but if you're really desperate for dust, I guess you can try it without the 2 war leaders, even though they are very essential. You could replace those with 2 ghost anglers to drop the deck cost to 1600 dust, but I recommend you craft the war leaders ASAP. The deck is very powerful and you can make it even stronger with not that big of an investment. I'd say this would be your best dust use, since it does open a lot of possibilities for you and the optimal deck is tier 1, for less than 6k dust total, which is great. Again, the games are pretty fast and you will have an easy climb with it. Your worst matchups from the popular decks would be Aggro Warrior and Zulok, but anything else would be fine for you. Aggro Overload Shaman and Token Druid are also hard for you, but you won't see many of those, so that is fine. The mulligan is pretty simple. You always want your Tide Callers and your Anglers. Mermies are not bad keeps too, and Toxfin can help you against early threats. If you already have a nice curve going, keeping Seer and even War Leader can be beneficial for you. If you already have Angler, keeping other 1-drops is also pretty good. The optimal version of the deck includes Leroy and Siamat, and you can see a detailed guide about it in my last top 5. It's doing really well in the current meta, and both those legendaries are good crafts as well, so it would be a nice deck for you to work on in the long run. The last deck I was gonna talk about was gonna be Zulok, but to be honest, there's no decent budget Zulok deck in the current meta. Sure, we do have a working Zulok in high tier 2, but that one costs over 7k dust, so instead I will show you a budget combo priest, with which you can take the lower ranks by storm. Even on a budget, Combo Priest can be very powerful, and even though you're not running cards like Emmet and Pump, people will expect those from you, which could work in your favor. This deck runs Shade Quills for an extra high health body on the board, and you can have lethal with those as soon as turn 4, as long as you get the correct cards. Even though people hate playing against Combo Priest and they do call it brain dead, it takes a lot of skill to pilot this deck optimally. So if you really take the time to master it, you will even be able to get Legend with it. The matchups look something like this. Highlander Hunter is pretty hard for you, since you will have to get lucky with his secrets. Murloc Shaman and Control Warrior are not great for you either, and the optimal Combo Priest will obviously have an edge over you. Other than that, you should be good. Mulligan remains pretty much the same as the original deck. Clerics, Tolvirs and Light Wardens are always a good keep. If you have some of those, you can keep Power Word Shield and maybe extra arms as well. If you're against aggro, keeping Pyromancer would be very beneficial. The full deck includes Emmet, Womsamdi and 2 pumps. If you want to see a full guide on the full version, again, do check out my last top 5. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope this helps you climb some ranks without breaking the bank. If you want to see more videos like this, do drop the subscribe, and a like would be very appreciated as well. Thanks for watching, I'm WnAwA, and I'll see you in my next video.